In a quiet Liberian town, 22-year-old Kofi, a humble and hardworking young man, met 19-year-old Alma, a cheerful and smart girl from a wealthy family. Despite their different backgrounds, they became close, spending time together and bonding under a mango tree after school. Alma lived in a wealthy home with her father, a businessman, and her mother, a nurse. Despite their riches, she never looked down on Kofi and loved him for his kindness and respect for others. Kofi and Alma soon fell deeply in love and planned a future together with dreams of becoming a teacher and a nurse. But things changed when Alma became pregnant. Though scared, she found comfort in Kofi's promise to stand by her and care for their growing family. Months passed, and the day came when Alma gave birth. She had twin baby girls. The babies were small and beautiful. They had Alma's eyes and Kofi's smile. But something very sad happened that night. Alma ran away. She didn't say a word. She didn't leave a note. She just disappeared. Kofi woke up and found that she was gone. He looked everywhere. He asked people if they had seen her, but no one knew where she went. Kofi was heartbroken. He sat down on the floor, tears running down his cheeks, holding his two newborn daughters in his arms. He didn't understand why Alma had left. But he made a promise to himself and to the babies. He looked into their tiny faces and whispered, "I will raise you. I will protect you. I will be both your father and mother. You are my heart now." From that day on, Kofi worked day and night. He carried the babies on his back to the market, sold fruits, washed clothes for people, and did any job he could find. He never gave up. He fed them, cleaned them, and sang them to sleep. Even though life was hard, Kofi's love for his daughters was strong. The pain of losing Alma never left his heart, but the joy of watching his baby girls grow gave him strength. Kofi lived with his parents in a small, old house. His father was called Papa Joe. He worked for NEPA, the power company, but his job was far away from the city. He only came home once in a while. Each time Papa Joe returned, he brought some money. That money helped them buy food and milk for the babies. Kofi's twin daughters, Kumba and Fatu, did not get breast milk from their mother because she had run away after giving birth. Instead, the babies drank powdered milk that Kofi bought from a small grocery shop near their house. The shop was just around the corner, but sometimes Kofi had no money to buy anything from there. On the days when Papa Joe hadn't come home yet and there was no money in the house, the babies would cry a lot. They were hungry and tired, and their cries filled the small room. It broke Kofi's heart to see his daughters suffer like that. Their grandmother, Mama Saya, a kind woman, loved the twins with all her heart. Even though she was weak and tired most days, she still tried to help. When the babies cried too much from hunger and no milk was left in the house, Mama Sia would sit on the floor with them in her lap. Sometimes she would press her old breasts gently, hoping that even a little milk would come out, just enough to stop the babies from crying. Most times, nothing came, but she still tried. She wanted to comfort them any way she could. She would hold them close, rock them slowly, and tears would fall from her eyes. "Your mother left you," she would whisper softly to them, "but we are still here for you. We will not leave you. We will love you always." Kofi would watch from the doorway with tears in his own eyes. It was not the life he had imagined for his children, but he was thankful for his parents. Together, they struggled. They prayed. And they gave all the love they had to the little girls who had been left behind. After 8 hard and painful months, Alma returned. She came back without any warning one afternoon while Kofi was washing the baby's clothes outside. He looked up and saw her standing near the gate. She was wearing fine clothes and looked well-fed and clean. She didn't look like someone who had just given birth and left her babies behind. Kofi was shocked. He stood still for a moment, then slowly walked toward her with one of the babies tied to his back. Alma looked at the babies and said, I want to take them with me. Kofi's heart started beating fast. He held the second baby in his arms and said, No, Alma, you left them. You didn't even say goodbye. Alma looked down and said, Okay, just give me one of them. Let me take the younger twin. You can keep the other. Kofi shook his head with tears in his eyes. They are twins, he said gently. They came into this world together. They cry together. They sleep side by side. You can't divide them like bread. Please, Alma, if you really care, come back home and help me raise them. But Alma refused. She turned her face away and said, I can't do that. Still hoping, Kofi decided to visit her family house the next day to beg one more time. He believed maybe if he showed her family how much he loved the babies, they would talk to her. When he reached her house, he knocked at the gate and asked to speak with her. Her brother came out instead. He looked angry. Kofi tried to explain, but before he could finish speaking, Alma's brother picked up a full bucket of water and poured it all over him. Kofi stood there soaking wet, with his shirt sticking to his body. Then the brother shouted, Get out of here, poor boy. Don't ever come back. As Kofi slowly turned to walk away, he saw Alma standing at the gate. Their eyes met for a moment. He thought she would say something, but she didn't look sad. Her face was hard. Cold. She looked him in the eye and said, I can't suffer with you. Kofi felt like something inside him broke. He walked home slowly, with water dripping from his clothes and pain in his heart. When he got back, he looked at his babies and wiped his tears. He whispered to them, Your mother may have left again, but I'm still here. I will never leave you. Years later, Alma got married to a rich man. He had a big house, nice cars, and a lot of money. Alma started a new life with him. She looked happy in pictures that people saw. She wore fancy clothes, went to parties, and lived in comfort. But during all those years, she forgot about her twin daughters, Kumba and Fatu. For 12 whole years, Alma never called, never visited, and never sent a gift or even asked how they were doing. Kofi, Mama Saya, and Papa Joe raised the girls with love and care. Kofi worked many jobs to make sure they could go to school and eat good food. Mama Saya taught them how to cook, clean, and pray. The girls grew up with kind hearts. They laughed, played, and helped with chores. Then one afternoon, something unexpected happened. A big car stopped in front of their small house. Alma stepped out, looking just as rich and beautiful as ever. Her hair was styled nicely, and she wore shiny shoes. The girls were in the yard helping Mama Sai peel cassava. When Fatu, the younger twin, saw Alma, something in her heart jumped. Without thinking, she ran into Alma's arms. She hugged her tightly and smiled. But Kumba, the older twin, stayed where she was. She didn't smile. She didn't move. Mama Saya looked at her and said gently, Kumba, this is your mother. Greet her. Kumba turned her head and said softly but firmly, No. My real mother is you, Mama Saya. You are the one who stayed. You are the one who fed us, held us when we cried, and never left. Alma looked shocked. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. She stayed for a little while, held Fatu again, and then walked slowly back to her car. That was the last time they saw her. Alma never called again. She didn't send a letter. She never asked how her daughters were doing. Kofi watched from the doorway, holding back tears. But he smiled when he looked at Kumba and Fatu. They had grown into strong, beautiful girls, and even without their mother, they were deeply loved. Kofi, you are still young. You should find another wife. People said this often, but he always gave the same answer. No. I cannot remarry now. He would explain, the twins are still too young. Another woman may not love them like I do. She might treat them badly. Me and my girls have already suffered too much in life. I don't want more problems for them. Kofi's heart was still full of love for Amma, even though she had left them. He wished she had stayed. He wished the girls had a mother to care for them. But she was gone, and he had to stay strong. Many years went by. Kofi worked hard and finally got a good job in Nigeria. It was a fresh beginning. He was happy to earn better money and provide for his twin daughters, Kumba and Fatu. He took the girls with him, and they lived in a cozy rented house in a busy town. Every day, Kofi woke up early, made breakfast, helped the girls get ready for school, and went to work. In the evenings, though tired, he would still help them with homework and tell them bedtime stories. Life in Nigeria wasn't easy. There was no family nearby, no grandmother like Mama Sai, no one to help. Kofi did everything alone. Sometimes, the girls missed having a mother so much that it hurt deeply. On special days like Parents' Day or Mother's Day, they felt an emptiness inside. They would see their classmates hugging their mothers, laughing, taking pictures. But they had no one. Kofi could only stand at a distance, feeling helpless. The pain became too much, and the girls began doing something strange. On those special days, they would give a little money to a kind-looking woman at the event and whisper, "Please, can you pretend to be our mother today?" The woman would smile, take pictures with them, and stand beside them during the event. From a distance, it looked like everything was fine. But deep inside, Kumba and Fatu were hurting. That night, after the event, they would cry silently in their room. They didn't want their father to hear. They didn't want to make him sad. But Kofi knew. He saw the pain in their eyes. And each time, he would sit outside, looking at the stars, praying for strength, and wishing things had been different. Years passed. One evening, Kumba and Fatu sat their father down in the living room. They were now grown, beautiful, smart, and strong young women. They looked at him lovingly and said, "Daddy, we want to talk to you." Kofi smiled. "I'm listening, my daughters." Fatu spoke first. "Daddy, we know you've done everything for us. You raised us alone. You gave us love, food, school, everything we needed. But, we see that you are lonely." Kumba added, "You never remarried because of us. But now, we are big girls. We can take care of ourselves. You don't have to worry anymore." They both held his hands and said, "Please find someone to make you happy. We will support you. Even if she has children of her own or brings new people into our lives, we will handle it. We are ready." Kofi felt tears welling in his eyes. For years, he had pushed away the idea of finding love again. But now, hearing those words from his daughters gave him courage. Not long after, Kofi met a kind Yoruba woman in Lagos. Her name was Adarank. She was soft-spoken, respectful, and had a warm smile. Most importantly, she loved Kumba and Fatu like her own. She never shouted or treated them harshly. She called them "my girls," helped braid their hair, cooked meals, and gave them motherly advice. Later, Adarank had a son for Kofi. The house was now full of life, laughter, and the sound of children playing. Kofi felt peace in his heart for the first time in a long while. But one morning, Adarank told Kofi she wanted to travel to the mainland to learn fashion designing. It had always been her passion, and she said this was her chance to become better. Kofi supported her. He gave her money and told her to be careful. She hugged the children and kissed Kofi goodbye. That was the last time they saw her. Days passed. Then weeks. Then months. No calls. No letters. No messages. Kofi tried calling her phone, it was switched off. He even went to the place she said she was going, but no one had seen her. It was like she had disappeared into thin air. Kofi was heartbroken. One night, he sat alone and cried. He looked at the sky and whispered, "God, why is this happening to me? Am I cursed? First Amma left me. Now Adorank is gone too. Why did they all leave me?" His daughters sat beside him and wiped his tears. "Daddy, you are not cursed. You are blessed. We are here. Your son is here. You are not alone." Kofi looked at them and nodded slowly. Even though he never got answers, he held on to the love of his children and kept going, day by day. Years later, Fatu, the younger twin, got married. It was a beautiful and emotional day, full of joy, music, and dancing. But there was also quiet sadness in the air. Her real mother, Amma, was still alive, but she didn't come. Instead, Fatu asked a close family friend, a woman who had always supported them, to stand in her place. As Fatu walked down the aisle, everyone clapped and smiled. But some guests looked around and whispered, "Where is the mother of the bride?" Kofi stood proud, but deep inside, he felt the pain. He had raised the girls with all his heart. He tried to stay strong as he gave Fatu away in marriage. Meanwhile, Kumba, the older twin, waited for years. Suitors came and went, but none stayed. She fasted, prayed, and attended night vigils. Kneeling by her bedside, she whispered, "God, please remember me. I too want to be a wife." Many nights, she cried silently, but never lost hope. Then one day, her prayer was answered. A kind, God-fearing man came into her life. He loved her deeply and asked for her hand in marriage. Kumba was overjoyed. She jumped, laughed, and hugged her father. "God has done it." But as the wedding preparations began, something broke inside her. One evening, she dropped a spoon and began to cry. Kofi rushed to her side. "What is it, my daughter?" he asked. Through tears, Kumba said, "Oh, I wish my mother was here. Just to see me dressed like a bride. Just to tell me I look beautiful." Though she had grown strong, the pain of her mother's absence still lived in her heart. In her sadness, Kumba went to her neighbor's house. An elderly woman named Mama Rose lived next door. She had always treated Kumba like her own, offering advice, teaching her, praying with her. Kumba walked in. Mama Rose opened her arms. Without a word, Kumba fell into her embrace and wept. Mama Rose gently patted her back and whispered, "My daughter, I am here. You are not alone. I will stand with you." True to her word, Mama Rose stood by Kumba before, during, and after the introduction. She held her hand, helped her dress, and danced with her. Kumba smiled through her tears. For the first time, she felt like she had a mother again. The wedding was just weeks away. Friends and family gathered to help with planning. One evening, while sitting outside, a friend asked, "Kumba, have you invited your real mother? You said you've forgiven her." Kumba looked up slowly. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sad. She replied softly, "Yes, I forgave her. I truly did. But I will never invite her to my celebration." Her friends were surprised. One asked, "Why not?" Kumba sighed and said with a heavy heart, "She was never there for me. Not from day one. Not when I cried. Not when I needed a mother's hug. Not during school days. Not even at my introduction. She made her choice, and I've made mine. I have peace now." Everyone went quiet. Though it was a painful truth, they respected her decision. Kumba had found love, support, and peace in the arms of those who stayed. And that was enough for her. On the wedding day, Kumba's marriage to a billionaire was a joyful and memorable event. While the ceremony was in full swing, something unexpected happened. Amma, now a widow, and childless, showed up uninvited. Security quickly noticed her and asked her to leave. She walked away in shame and regret. Despite the incident, the celebration continued. The groom surprised Mr. Kofi with a brand new car, thanking him sincerely for raising his wife and her twin sister with so much love and care. Overwhelmed, Kofi expressed deep gratitude.